Raise your hand if you got an Olashen cloak. Varkir just slumps on the ground. Though the Unagoth is the majority of what you need to worry about. Giant flapping creatures of the sky with psychic shrieks of horror. You actually see a path of snake. It just bites your cheek. Fool says, "Follow me."
Are you sure you're not being lured into a trap?
You see a beholder, and in his hand is a book. A very dark black book.
I walk over to it.
You walk over to it?
Yes.
I will join.
Let's try to pick the book up. It's a very dark book.
I'm super ready with my thorn
god.
whip.
Aha. No. That's not.
Okay, you walk over and you grab the book. Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. As you walk over, the ground crunches, and it's almost like it gets colder and colder the closer that you get.
I'm like off to his right a little bit.
When you reach towards the book, for an instant, it seems like the beholder's tendrils have gotten closer towards you and their eyes focus on you. Nobody else gets this feeling. When you pick up the book, I want you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
I'll just be at 12.
At 12.
Right.
You see two of the stalks of the beholder's eyes coming from the book. This black cloak of darkness starts billowing out and gets thrust through all of the area that you're currently in, the entire building. And you see one stalk shoot up, and its eye comes alive, and you can see.
Throw me the book.
Can I just jump out?
1 second. And wouldn't I just jump out? Is that what you're saying?
We were both right next to each other. I'd be like,
Like,
here,
yeah.
you're right next to me.
yeah, like I'm gonna dive off to the side. You dive off to the other side. Like they're going for you.
As this the beholder's eye looks at you, and you see this deep purple beam shoot and just blast and bore into your skin, pushing you backwards with this book in your hands. I want you to roll a wisdom, or sorry, what'd you roll on your dexterity?
Oh, I got a 12. Yeah.
A 12. You feel your senses leave you. Your limbs become numb
I fire off
as
a
you
firebolt at the
walk
beholder.
on, or sorry, as you fall onto the ground and get pushed backwards by this beam, unconscious.
Can I dive for the book?
The book,
Yeah.
It makes me go unconscious.
Yeah, no, well, this beam boring into your chest makes you go unconscious. As you fall, you become drowsy and you start dozing off. You don't feel like any
it's like
pain.
a
You just feel your
sleeping.
consciousness leaving you as you fall onto the ground and get pushed backwards away from this skeleton dais.
Oh, so it's a
And what are you
sleeping
doing,
thing,
Tim?
okay.
I
That's gonna be
fired off
product
a
damage.
firebolt.
Sounds like
I'm
product
diving for
damage,
the
I
book,
got nothing.
trying to just grab it.
I also readied my thorn whip.
Thunky, roll.
Well, if I'm already down, I just leave it. Like, we're not going to attack anybody else. We're not going to put anybody else to sleep.
Roll a Constitution saving throw as another one of these stalks looks at you and shoots out
Never
this
mind.
yellow beam.
He's gonna
19.
shoot everybody.
19. Doing just like using your. I mean, how would you dodge this beam? A beam is coming straight at you, Thunky. How would you dodge it?
It's gonna be like, and just like barrel roll to the side.
Dodge rolling, jumping out of the way of this yellow deep beam, going and searing across the way, almost doing the limbo as you go under it. You take.
Oh, that's okay.
You take no damage or suffer any effects as it just and you see. Hercheck, roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, fantastic.
This was a random roll. Don't.
That's gonna be 11.
Okay, so you are you cannot help but think that this creature, this undead being, this beholder is your new master. And you are charmed.
Oh, I had a reaction
What was your reaction?
to rage or attack.
Oh, to rage?
Or
Or
attack.
was it attack?
Like when we were last doing when you sense the new beings in the fog, I was like, I'm getting angry from all these fucking sounds.
Okay, the beam hits you in your forehead just as your eyes go red with rage and you just billow out this roar of infernal energy, and you're just combating the rage
Lightning
with
energy.
your raging psychic power as it's just forcing the ray back into the eye of the stalk. And you can see now this dark silhouette spiral out of the skeleton dais and grab the grimoire and start flipping through its pages, and it looks at you, Tim. What are you doing?
I fired a firebolt at it.
Okay, roll to attack.
I did.
What'd you roll?
9.
A 9. Off into the distance, hits one of the already dead stalks of the beholder, and I want you to take... Oh, geez. Make a dexterity saving throw as one of the stalks comes up behind this skeleton spirit with this curdling purple-black energy just spilling out from this eye, from this beholder, this deceased beholder stalk. What'd you get?
15.
All right. I actually need... Fuck it. We'll just... You take 55 points
Whoa. Whoa.
Of healing?
of necrotic damage as this beam is pounding into your flesh, searing it from your body, taking your cloak from your person and just destroying it and rending your flesh
Whoa.
incurable. 55 points of damage. How much health are you at?
One.
Negative? Oh. I
One?
still
You had
have one?
56 points of damage? Or you have 56
I
health
took,
points?
I forget however many. Like, I'm at, trust me, I'm at 1 point of health.
Okay, as it's
Take
just
a point.
just searing off your garb and your flesh, and it managed to just glance off of your face as you spin around, elbows and knees into the ground, smoke billowing out from your curdled black melting skin.
I
And-
definitely shat my diaper.
And this almost smoky skeleton silhouette says, "Now your death is assured. Come join me in the afterlife."
No. Can I scream after seeing that happen to him and shoot off a lightning bolt?
Yes, and then after your lightning bolt, everybody roll initiative.
Okay.
I want to get an insight check to see what this guy, like, what god or deity this guy is, or something.
Roll a history check.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. History. History insight.
So
right?
you have
Mm.
to make a dexterity saving throw.
Wow, that's. I should
You have
use
to
that.
beat a 20.
What do I have to beat?
5.
A 15.
Doesn't beat it.
Perfect. Okay. Hold on
What'd you
a
roll?
second.
Mark here?
Actually, I'll just do
I
this.
rolled a 4, but if we have advantage, it's a 22.
I'm sorry, did you just roll with advantage just like what in the the very small chance that would happen?
Yeah, it was
You have no idea what is going on right now. It's
I'm
very
saying-
obviously a spell and reaction of death itself, but you don't know the specifics of what's going on. You don't know what the book is doing. You don't know what the spirit is doing. You don't know why this husk, this very obviously dead husk of a beholder, is becoming still active.
So 29 points of damage.
29 points of damage as this spirit gets lit aflame from Thunky throwing out this, what was it?
A lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt from his hands and coursing through the
Her
entire
hands.
creature as its hand is shaking and it's the book is in the air and its entire form just burns and the husks go back to a dormant state and the book lands on the ground in a puff of smoke.
Sprint over to the book.
Okay.
I pick it
was
up
still
and
holding
I
it.
put it in the bag of holding.
I was still holding it.
No,
you
don't put
weren't.
it in
You-
the bag
you
of
dropped
holding.
it.
How did I drop it?
Because your body went unconscious as you
So it just
got
floated
shot
away?
back.
Yeah, you were sleeping, Barkir. Actually, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Well, that's what I got anyways. And you just put it in the bag of holding, which we can't get into.
Can I make a jump at him
Dude, you dumb.
when I see that he's about to put it in the bag of holding?
Make a dexterity check and
Oh,
make
man.
a whatever either strength or dexterity.
Okay.
Please.
Private advantage.
What'd you get?
I got a 9.
I got a 13.
Okay. Thunky just quickly, faster than you've seen Thunky before, slides through the ash as it gets thrown out in the opposite direction as you are diving in to grab it as well and just nabs it right from your fingers. And she looks at you accusingly.
No! Don't give it to Pinky. And I'm gonna hold it, and then I'm gonna go wake up Barkir.
You know why we're here, Hercheck.
I try to rip the book from her hands.
No! I'm already walking to Barkir.
Roll a strength saving.
No! What?
throw.
Strength?
An opposing strength check. You didn't take damage within the past 6 seconds. You only have one roll.
I got a 10.
You rush at her check.
Wait, the first one was a 7. It was 11.
And you grab on to the book as Thunky is almost pleading, like Thunky's eyes is meeting yours, and like, what are you doing? As you both are wrestling for the book, and you just rip it out from Thunky's
No.
grasp.
No!
I place it in the bag of holding.
No!
And you all hear a cackle come
That
from
was the sound
the
of
bag.
Pinky?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick your bag as hard as I can.
That's fine.
Roll a strength check.
Nah, that
As,
doesn't count. That doesn't count.
As she goes for a kick, I'm walking over to...
I got a
uh,
20, not natural. Can it at least hurt Pinky a little bit?
Bag's
It
never
almost
gonna
feels
open.
like you're kicking
Please.
2 layers of burlap as you kick into Hercheck's side. You can roll damage on Hercheck, that's for
Yes, I
sure.
will.
Okay, go for it. As Hercheck is trying to ignore you,
What is-
walking
What is this?
one hefty step at a time
I'm walking over
towards
to Tim
Tim.
to give him a greater healing
D4.
potion.
7.
7 points of bludgeoning damage into your side as you take this damage. And Vul goes, what just happened here? It seems like we were just put in danger. This was not a Belbanus helium sac. What did we just acquire?
I'm pretty sure Pinky charmed Hercheck and put us all in danger by taking us over into this
Who is
area
this Panky character that you keep bringing up?
He's a creature that lives in my bag.
of holding, and he's not very nice.
Do you have any way to burn this bag?
I mean, you're more than welcome to try.
No, you.
Is there anything else in this
Talking to
building? Can I just make a perception check?
it looks like a bunch of different skeletons frozen in position, and some people just entirely petrified. No skeletons, just petrified beings in the rush of action. And different skeletons, almost it looks like pushed and melted up against the wall. It looks like this was a scene of death previously.
Can I get up or am I still asleep?
Has anybody gone over to...
If he was
Yeah.
up, then
I'm gonna go wake him up.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna go over to Tim Bora. greater healing potion down as.
All right, minus the potion from your inventory, and roll 2d8 plus. Hold on.
So can I go to this beholder and try
Plus
and
a million.
cast animate dead on it? Or no? It's
Yeah, go ahead and roll a 4. I'm sorry, 4d4 plus 4. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
What
I don't
is
know
it
if this
plus?
even work. We'll see.
4.
I don't know what's an arcana again. Oh,
Wisdom.
it says intelligence.
It really? All right, my apologies.
14 is it?
13.
14.
Get some good health.
Oh, it
back
is
there.
intelligence.
Thank
No.
you.
You dip your sword into the flesh of the beholder, and it almost feels like it's purposefully preventing it. It feels like it's not like it's fighting it. It's like it's just being directed elsewhere. Like there's just no use.
Squish my sword into its brain a little bit, kind of like this. Like trying to figure out if I got the right spot. And then once it doesn't work, I'll just pull it out and put it away. Like, all right,
That would have been sick of you.
Okay.
you win this round, and I walk away.
We should
Midnight, no.
get back on the path.
Good girl.
Get back
Tim,
on.
Weren't you leading us on the path?
Pinky was leading
you took
us.
something very,
thought I
very
was.
important.
He goes over to you and he goes, "What is this Panky? And what hold does it have over Hercheck?"
Pretty sure Hercheck feels guilty
Hmm?
because we took something of Pinky's, and he owes him a debt that probably can't be filled. So now Pinky's using that against us.
So you just have this entity inside of a bag, inside of a sack on this large, scary individual's hip.
Yep.
And you just go wherever he says.
Usually not, but I think Pinky did something to Hercheck. I've never seen it that bad before. I didn't even know Pinky could do that, honestly. Although he did warp us into an alternate, past reality once.
We went back in time about
It was
1,000.
pretty bad. He's pretty evil. I don't like him.
kind of like you.
No, that was not Vool. That was you hear this cackling coming from the bag of holding.
And he also, won't allow us to use anything from the bag. There's a lot of cool stuff in there.
I see. Well,
Its pros outweigh the heavy cons.
Bull, I
Hercheck.
mean, if you can figure out a way, get Pinky out of there, that would be best case scenario.
throw it into a volcano. The Gragnar Mountains have many of them. Though I won't escort you to them. That'll be an adventure of your own.
We just need to get back.
All right, I'm leading the way now.
I will trust only you.
I will trust only not you, anybody else.
I trust you, Bull, 100%. Completely. And I will not follow anyone else.
All right. That was a beholder, by the way. A spirit of the beholder.
We killed it. Just like gods.
Yeah, sure.
We've killed gods before.
And that book looked dangerous.
Well, it's out of this existence forever.
It's in the hands of Pinky,
Who knows what danger?
who could probably use that grimoire book to
Probably.
do really unspeakable things.
Yeah.
Possibly kill us all.
Maybe unlock some dragons in the future. Campaign.
And Vool goes, all right, it's approaching, though we cannot tell, night time here, and we should be gone from this forest before then. Follow me, and for the love of God, be quiet Keep to yourselves and look at my back.
Okay.
And he dashes through the mist. Do you all follow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He specifies, I'm only looking for a Belbanus tree, which shouldn't be so rare in this forest. So, Vool is leading you through the very dense, misted region of the floating forest. Another 10 minutes goes by as he's leading you, and he turns around to you as a group, and he goes, why are we going through all this trouble? This is easy for me, but why do you put yourselves through this? What drives you here?
I look at Kunbara.
No matter what, is what she whispers in your ear.
Okay, and I look at them and be like,
This is of a personal matter. What personal matter could be so grave that you push yourselves into literally the hell on earth that is the floating forest?
I don't think we know each other like that yet, fool.
Right enough. You have paid me your promise.
500 gold gets us
That.
no questions asked.
Okay. Fair enough.
We're not doing this for free. We're clearly not friends. Maybe we'll work towards that, but anybody who charges me that hefty sum of gold is definitely not my friend.
Do you not see where we now trek ourselves through? Do you not think that 500 gold pieces has not already warranted the guidance that I've given you?
We walked away from the path you were walking on very early on. So, and you said nothing to keep us back on track. So you're not really guiding us then, are you?
I know how to keep you away from the native dangers of the Gragnar Mountains. And
Then
that is
keep us
all,
away.
And that is what I have done.
Tim, I think he's doing his job.
Didn't we just encounter danger?
That was
Thanks to
on
your
my hand.
friend here.
Yeah, not him. I was leading the way.
If you knew the way, then why didn't you tell us we
I
were
don't
walking
know
right
the
into
way.
danger?
I merely know how to get to the floating forest
He does not know the
in
way.
barely
He does not.
I knew the way.
how to navigate past the denizens of the floating forest.
Tim, you were on board with following.
Well, I trust you.
Yeah.
We're friends.
Thank you.
You only charge me gold.
I don't know if you beat on me, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
dry cleaning later.
It appears as though you lot don't understand the scope of what exactly Bresh is, and the amount that you even need to survive there. It's very good that your friend, what was it, Fleetfoot Zap Man?
Zip, zap.
Zippity Doo Dash?
Zap dash.
We'll call him annoying voice person.
It's a good thing that he showed up and gave you barely enough to survive. But if he hadn't, you fools would have found yourself very out of luck in the city of Bresh.
We'd be real dead right now, Tim.
Real dead.
Real dead.
D-E-D dead.
Yeah. Fool's a good guy.
My
I
curiosity...
gave up my wealth for this. And I don't see that you're worth it yet. So maybe you should start proving it.
Roll a persuasion check. On the many different aspects of that sentence that put you in a higher status than you actually are. What'd you get?
Old
9.
man wearing a diaper.
Yeah, he looks
Another
down at your cloak that moves around, very obviously around the sides of your diaper, and he goes, yes, I see that now, Tim. Yeah, you've got a point. You're right. I'm just going to continue leading the way for you and keeping you alive through all of these dangers for a measly 500 gold. I'm sorry, for a monumentous 500 gold to you lot. And he continues walking.
I squint my eyes.
And we can keep not being friends if that is what you desire.
Dramatic music plays in my head. Dramatic.
As he's walking forward, and you in your mind are looking at him with scorn, walking a bit higher than you normally would, with less of a hunch.
Or lower.
And, just like more menacing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, right behind him. I'm sorry, on top of Hercheck's shoulders, you're just waving your arms slowly and menacingly, and looking at him as though
Giant
your
man
gaze
baby.
itself will make death fall upon him.
Like a cat's. I peer at him from this side, and then that side. Exactly.
They just fucking death glaring at each other, staring at each
Well,
other.
she like jumps forward and it's like, oh nope, 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 nope. Then like goes forward again.
Just testing the waters.
He just has just been sitting there.
Vool says we're almost to one of the trees. From my experience, we will only need one, but we'll need to climb to the top. Let us go. He continues walking through the fog.
I should climb. I was born in the mountains.
And
But are you
What are you
actually
doing?
really good at
Gosh,
climbing?
calm down.
I was born in the mountains. I'm really athletic.
Okay.
Maybe
Vool-
somebody else should join me though. Just in case.
you see a collection of different sticks and twigs, and it's almost like this massive pile of debris from what you've seen around this area. Looks like just random bits of it being pulled towards the central area. And Vool says, if you want even a sliver of hope of slipping past the Unagoth, put those snakes in this nest and run for your lives.
Okay.
Can I take the snake off my face?
That
Put
was
it-
still
Was
on
it on your face the whole time?
I mean, you said it bit my face, and you didn't say anything else. It was just biting my face.
It didn't like bite.
It didn't
and
like
hang
latch
on.
on for a time, like for the end of time.
I mean, I still wanted it.
So then, but then
You
I feel
failed and Varkir failed.
Like, yeah, I
At
feel like
putting
you,
it in my pants.
Just let 'em duke it out.
I feel like
They
you
gotta
would be
solve their
taking like
issues.
a steady flow of poison damage this whole time
It's healthy.
if you left it there.
Yeah,
I'm
if you want the
resistant to
snake,
poison.
you take 10 damage.
Back to one.
As retrospectively, you all remember a snake embedding its teeth in Tim's temple and just hanging on, just like an accessory to Tim.
Nobody noticed.
Well, it's a good thing you're carrying me, literally.
Thinking that
'Cause
maybe
I have
he's just
one
used to
health
this. This is
point.
just cave
Again? You only got 10
accessorizing.
from that greater?
The greater was 2d8s.
Plus 4. Plus 4. Or plus 2d8
Yeah, I
plus
rolled
8.
a 2 and a 1.
Oh my god.
Wait, or was it?
as
Two,
Tim is
two?
just slowly, you feel his grip on your head just slowly slip off and slide down your face.
Whoa, whoa, you okay? What's going on? Tim, I should probably take this snake off my face.
Just in time, as Vool directs you to the collection of bones and
What are you doing?
debris
What are you
from
doing,
the
cat?
surrounding area. And he says, the Unagoth cherish the Belbanus trees more than anything. We will not get out of here without one hell of a fight. If we want to mitigate that whatsoever, we must narrow down their numbers.
Okay.
Now we put these snakes in this nest, and we go as quickly as as we any species on the planet of Terra can.
Do we put all the snakes in one nest, or do we like?
All of them
Okay.
at this. Yes, at once.
All
I
right.
put my
I
snake
put-
in the
Yeah.
nest.
Put my snake in there too.
Okay, as soon as you guys all let loose your snakes into the nest, He goes, "Now we don't have much time. We need to get to that tree." And he starts sort of almost half sprinting as quickly as a goblin can of his stature.
Do the same.
Follow.
Yeah, we're all kind of running.
He's running barely ahead of you enough to where he's just visible through the fog as it's billowing off of his shoulders and his sides. And you hear this coming off in front of you as you see this silhouette of this large structure right in front of you. And as Vul keeps running, the silhouette comes more and more into view, and you get to a certain point where this sound, this becomes louder, and you can see these appendages.
Just like, get me out of here!
These pointed appendages of just across your entire view, and as you disperse into the view of this large tree, you can see its arms. The arms of this tree arc outward and up towards the sky, and that's as much as you can see. And this tree raises to a few hundred feet up, maybe about 250 feet high. And you hear
Do we see any bags coming from this tree?
You look up and you see nothing as the arms of the tree disappear into the mist. But looking at the tree itself, you can see this collection of multi-legged monstrosities. They have 8 limbs and this furry arachnid sack. And their head almost looks like the head of a large goblin mixed with an orc at the same time, with these huge teeth just and they are nipping at each other at the base of the tree. And Vul goes, keep
on the back of your neck, man.
very quiet.
She has a
Now.
bonfire.
Yeah.
Hold yourselves. Leave this to me. Give me a minute. Hold them off for that long, and I can handle the rest. Yes, and he almost backs away from the group into the fog, and you start hearing again this sort of guttural chanting, as it seems almost like an ancient tribal song where he's going. And he's almost putting on this performance to himself as he's dancing back and forth. And he says, "Do not let them near me." Before he goes into that, he goes, as he goes into this dance.
Can I
And
cast Entangle on those creatures?
yeah, go for it. What do they need to roll?
A strength check. Or a strength saving throw. And beat 15.
I'm readying an attack in a rage. Just a rage. Like just in case.
So
they're coming
out
at
of
us.
the 4 that are collected at the base of this tree, these arachnid, furry, orcish monstrosities are nipping at each other and surveying the area. One of them goes
I didn't need to do anything.
I'm sorry.
and it looks towards your group, and it starts to spike foot 1 foot into the ground.
Now we have to fight with Tim at
Only
one health.
one of them. Oh god.
Just don't move.
And it
Just don't do it.
spike foots closer and closer to you. I want you all to roll a stealth check.
We still have pass without trace, right?
Yeah, add 10 to it.
23.
Dang, natural 20.
16.
Wow. As soon as you, Thunky, see these creatures, you just
Into the fog.
Not even
yeah,
breathing.
just like the fog billows over you and conceals you as you just petrify yourself.
Sounds about right.
26.
16.
Oh, I got a 23.
Wow, well done, guys. As it stomps its foot closer and closer to you, the three behind it are still fighting amongst each other over some hidden rodent or whatever it may be, whatever they use as food. And it goes about 10 feet from you guys. One spike foot after the other, and it's about 50 seconds at this point that he is still sort of in the background. As he senses it come closer, he sort of mumbles to himself now. And you see his arm lift from his person, and Vool becomes this larger, more elegant iteration of these creatures, and he immediately stomps forward and looks in different directions and sort of sniffs over the one approaching you guys, and he goes and the one that was approaching you guys backs away a few feet, and Vool looks in different directions and starts walking forward, almost as though he's better than them. And Vool looks back towards you guys, and he messages in your mind, "Go towards the tree now. I will handle these." Let me see what their names are. These are not Unagoths. These Neogis. And yeah, he looks at you guys as these Neogis in front of him are almost enthralled by him. He looks like a more beautiful leading version of these guys, and he gets to the three closer towards the base of the tree, and he snips at them again, just chomping at them, making them move backwards. And he almost looks at them and looks off into the distance and starts stabbing his spiked legs away. And you almost hear the many amounts of footsteps follow him, stabbing into the ground as they disappear off into the distance.
Running out, we're going to the tree, climbing the tree.
Wait, before you do that, I wanted to cast Spider Climb on you.
Okay.
On Hercheck?
Yeah. You're the one climbing up, right?
And
Yeah.
I'm going to try and
What does that do to me?
grab.
Yeah,
So
you guys
let's
get to
see.
the base of this Belbanus tree, and it is at least 50 feet wide, 50 feet in diameter, and it looks like roots are curling around each other to make one singular tree as they're spiraling at the top and shifting outward. And the closer you get, the more you hear the
Well, make it easy to climb. Just grab onto the things.
Well, you gain
gonna
the
jump on you.
ability to move up, down, and across vertical surfaces and upside down while leaving your hands free.
Nice. So I fucking
Basically
just
run
sprint
up.
up that
Wait.
thing.
Yeah.
as Tim is just sitting on your abdomen as you are
You're coming with me, Tim!
sprinting up fully horizontal.
And this is good for an hour,
Whoa.
so you should be good.
Sick.
All right, so I want Thunky and Varkir to roll an acrobatics. Or I'm sorry, an athletics check.
Are you all climbing up with us?
Not?
Are you guys?
No.
No.
Why would they climb up with me?
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was just one person.
They were just going to get a plant thing.
Wait,
Helium sac.
I thought Vul said that there's just one up there that he needs to get. That we need to get.
No, he said that this is a tree. This is one of the Belbanus trees,
We
and
need
the
6 sacks.
yeah, the sacks are on top.
Okay, well in that case, I'll climb up as well.
Okay. The muted swordsman stabs their sword of stained glass and gold into the tree and starts climbing themselves, and just almost starts like leaping up, like blade inside, thrusting themselves up farther onto the tree, using the blade to stab inside and gain purchase and thrust themselves up once more. So they're almost keeping pace with you, Hercheck.
That's fucking crazy. Okay. So it's me and Tim, and you're standing down
Funky.
below.
I got a
Get my mace
25.
out and my shield out. Just sitting there.
Okay, Kunbara, before she starts climbing, looks at you, Varkir, and she says, "Are you good here?"
Should be, unless a bunch of those things come back, and I'll tell you if they do. Believe me, I won't be silent if they come back and I'm the only one down here.
Let us hope that your screams reach the top of this tree.
Oh, I'll just
And she starts
jump up and
climbing
throw my
herself.
weapon at you.
You just like look up to the top
Climb
and you're
up
like,
a little bit.
Nope. Just come on.
You've got spider climb on you. You don't need it. Thunky, roll an athletics check. What'd you roll the first time? Did you?
I got 25.
Oh, then never mind. You're good. You're keeping pace, just like scurrying, skimming up the entire tree. You guys all, after what seems like minutes and minutes climbing this tree, like it's an entire path in and of itself. Like you've spent almost hours climbing it. You lose sight of the bottom of the floating forest. And finally, Hercheck, your foot clears the distance and you arc up and step onto the top
Tim's
of
with me.
this tree, and it's a flat surface made comprised of just roots weaving in and out of each other and then arcing outward in about 7 different large branches, and they shoot straight out and then arc straight up, maybe after about 15 feet. And there are these sacks on each of these branches that you now can associate the sound with it. And you see these sacks swell up. It's like very gross, leathery sacks that get produced from this tree as they arc outward, and they round to about 4 feet around, and then they float in the air, slowly spilling out some gas as they continue to float up and up and up, as there's just this.
Okay. I think these are the sacks we need. We should grab 7 of them just in case.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll do my best to grab 7.
We can tie them all together with like a rope.
Oh, I have rope.
So we can just tie them up.
During this conversation, you hear light baseball bat swings. One more time.
From where?
Those are wings.
And you hear multiple coming from around. You can't discern any one direction, as it seems like they're coming from many different directions all around you, and you hear multiple large, almost colossal baseball bat swings approaching you.
Grab bags. We need to go. Grab bags and go!
I'm running towards the closest grouping of bags.
And
Yeah.
that is where we will pick up next time.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't sound too good.
On SASANS and Dragons. Thank you for joining us, SASANS, on tonight's episode of SASANS and Dragons. As always, until fate next brings us together, and never stop playing video games.
Tabletop games.